All right, this is for Module 2, Lesson 12. Lesson 11 is combined with it, but we're doing Lesson 12. All right, so it's multiplication. The first thing you need to do is estimate, and I gave you two estimates here. I want you to see that if we round the first one to a 1, if we use our balloon system, and we let go with two fingers, the 1 stays the same, so it's a 1. So if it's a 1, and we can multiply anything times 1 and know the answer. So if we do 1 times 23, we know the answer is going to be 23. So our estimation could be 23. But if you do round the 23 to 20, then your estimation is 20. Both answers are right. Remember, an estimation is going to be close to the right answer. Now if we go to 23, our answer is going to be closer to the 23 because we do have that one time. And since we rounded down to the 20, we know our answer is going to be greater than 20. So here, let's go ahead and go. I already started this problem. I want you to know that what we're doing basically is doing partial products of 124 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 times 1 is 3. Sorry. So again, 4 times 3 is 12. Here's our 12. Then we have 3 times 2 is 6 plus the 1 is 7. Then we have 3 times 1 is 3. And there's the 3. Now let's go to the next problem, which is 124 times 20. So we should know that there's going to be a 0 automatically, because that's multiplying it times 2. So we have 20, which is 2 times 10. So if we multiply it times 2 first, and then multiply it by 10, we're going to get a 0 at the very end. So that's why there's always a 0 here. All right, 2 times 4 is 8. And we have 2 times 2, which is 4. And then we have 2 times 1, which is 2. So that transfers over here as our second partial product. Then we add that up. 7 plus 8 is 15. 3 plus 4 is 7. Plus the 1 is 8. And then we have a 2. So we remember that our estimation was 23. So if we take one of these away, we would have 285. That's really far away from 23. If we take these two digits away, we have 28. Now 28 is close to 23. So we know our decimal goes here. So our final answer is 28 and 52 hundredths. I've also said in class that we can pretend that we know that there's going to be 2 more place values for our hundredths here. So if we look at that number, 23 and 0 hundredths, and compare it to this, we can see where the decimal goes. All right, so let's do it again with a different problem. This problem has a 0 in it. We have 5 times 400, and we got 2,000 as our estimate. So here again, we're going to do the 6, 532 times 6. So 6 times 2. 6 times 2 is 12. Here's my 12. Then I'm going to do 6 times 3. is 18, plus the 1 is 19. Now I have 5 times 6 is 30, plus the 1 gives me 31. Next up is the zeros. Now I already know there's a 0 here, so if I do 0 times 0, 2 is 0, 0 times 3 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0. I'm going to put those 3 zeros right there. Do I really have to write that? Not really, but some people like to do it so that they remember that that's the tens place and that there's a 0 there. Now we're going to go to the hundreds place, and we're going to times 400. So I know my answer is going to have 2 zeros here, because it's 400 times 532. All right, so now we're going to do 4 times 2, and that's 8. Then we have 4 times 3, which is 12. Then we have 4 times 5 plus 1, which is 21. And yes, it's sticking out. So right now, if I look at my answer, my last partial product, I see there's a lot of digits here, and we only had 4 digits over in our estimation. So let's see what happens. So we're going to add them up. 2 plus 0 plus 0 is 2. 9 plus zeros are 9. And I have 1 plus 8 is 9. 3 plus 2 is 5. And I have a 1 and a 2. All right, so we were looking for 2,000. Another way to think about it is 2,000 with 0 hundreds. So first up, we're going to take the 2 away. Nope, now we have too many. So for my 2,000, my decimal would go here. Because 2,159 and 92 hundredths is closer to 2,000 and 0 hundredths. All right. Hopefully that helped you with one of your problems, and I try to fashion these close to what the problems are in your homework. All right, so now we have 209 times 27. This time the zero's on the top. So we do our estimation. We're going to round to the 2. And we're going to multiply that by 30 because our 2 is in the balloon. And we're going to let go with 7 fingers, and that's going to move it into a 3. So our estimation says that we should have an answer of 60. And again, we have 2 place values, so it would be 60 and 0 hundredths. All right, so let's get to work. 9 times 7 is 63. A little trick here, when you have a 7 in the top factor, it's basically just going to come down here. Because we have 9 times 7 is 63. Then we have 7 times 0 is 7, or 0, excuse me, plus the 6 gives me the 6. Now we have 7 times 2, and that gives us 14. All right, so we know we're going to have a 0 here because it's not times 2, it's times 20. So now we have 9 times 2 is 18, and I'm already going to write that down because I know that 2 times 0 is 0 plus the 1 gives me 18. Then I have 2 times 2, which gives me 4. Add those together. 6 plus 8 is 14. 4 plus 1 is 6, and then 4 plus 1 is 5. All right, so where does the 0 go, or the decimal go? Again, if we take a look at this, you can see where the decimal goes. It's going to go right here. We can also, if we didn't have the zeros here, we can also see that that is too much. That would be 564. And if we took away the 4, we would have 56, and 56 is close to 60. So it's reasonable to think that the decimal goes between the 6 and the 4. Because our estimation is 60. Estimation is our friend. Oops, went too fast. Alright, I'm just going to go through these. This one's fairly simple because we have times 7. All of them are 7. So once I do the first one, you're going to see that a pattern is going to happen. So 7 times 3 is what I'm doing first, and that's 21. 7 times 8 is 56, plus a 2 is 58. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 5 is 54. Then I have 7 times 4 is 28, plus 5 is 33. Then I have 7 times 1 plus 3 is 10. Okay. So the next problem is pretty much the same thing. We are going to go 7 times 3, 7 times 8, 7 times 7, 7 times 4, and 7 times 1. All of those are basically going to be the same. The only difference here is we're going to shift everything to the left because we're multiplying 7 tens instead of 7 ones. The digits are the same order. All we did was add the 0 to signify the tens place. The tens place. All right, now we're doing hundreds, and hundreds have 2 zeros, so we're going to copy the number down now again. This time shifting to the left one more time. Oh, I forgot to do my estimation. Let me do my estimation before I go on. We have 147. We could round that to 100. And 777, we can round that to 800. And that's going to give us 8 with 4 zeros behind it. I'm adding the 2 because I know I'm multiplying times hundreds. All right, so let me add up. 1, 9, 12 plus 1 is 13. 8 plus 4 is 12, plus 3 is 15, plus 1 is 16. Then I have 7. There I have a 4, a 1, and a 1. All right, so if I take away the first one, doesn't work. Here we do go again. This one looks pretty good. Let's look at it really close though. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Huh. But the one right here should be closer to the 8. This should be an 8. It's not. What happened here is that we actually have the 8 here. We had 80,000. So our decimal is going to go here. Basically, boys and girls, there's 2 decimal places. So we're going to go 1, 2 decimal places. Because in our problem, we have 1, 2 decimal places. So you might be saying, Mr. Valdemar, but 8 and 11, they're far apart. You're right, but they're not too far if we're actually talking about just looking at the 10,000s. So it's 11 10,000s and 8 10,000s. 11 and 8 are not that far from each other. All right, I think this is going to be our last one. Again, I fashioned these close to what you're doing for homework. All right, estimation is 52 because 64, our ones is here, and we're letting go with 6 fingers, and that means our balloon is going to go up to 1. Okay. So 52 is our estimation. Now we have 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 6 is 12. Now we're going to the tens. 5 tens times 4 equals 200. Oops. Or 20. So we're going to have that 0. That's the one from the tens. Then this is for the 20. Then we have 5 times 6 is 30 plus 2 is 32. Again, we had 5 times 4 is 20. This is our 20, that's 0 here, and the red 2 here. Then we have 6 times 5 is 30 plus this 2 here from the 20. Then that's 32. So we add those up. And our estimation was 52. So again, 332 is too far from 52. 33 is close to 52. So our decimal is going to go right in the middle here. All right, I hope that was helpful. Again, we have 2 decimal places in our problem. So we have 2 decimal places in our product, final product. All right, so bonus word. iPhone, because I'm looking at my iPhone. All right, hope that helps.